Alright, we're going to start back up on page 187 with clearing a float. So on page 187 there is a graphic talking about clearing a float. It has the original layout, and then the second image has a float to the right. And you notice the two little paragraphs to the left of the image, and then the third image has a clear right float, and it drops it down below the picture. So we're going to look at some floats, and while I'm thinking about it, I wanted to let you guys know about your data files. So in your data files, in tutorial 3, there is a folder titled Demo, and this is a pretty neat little tool, and I don't know why your book doesn't talk about it, but it doesn't. But it lets you play with floats. So there's an outer, which is this red box, and an inner, which is this yellow box, and you can kind of play a little bit. Okay, so I got that fixed 0 to 0, so you can just make some changes and see what kind of effects it has on your boxes. Okay, so you can kind of play around with floats. So I wanted to let you guys know that so you wouldn't miss it. Alright, so this is the way our page looked at the end of the last video. We're going to return to Notepad++ at our pc_home.css file. Down at the bottom we have left column styles. This is where I am going to begin. So we have a section with an ID, so I have to use a hashtag. The ID was left column. We're going to clear the left float, and we're going to float left, and the width is going to be 33%. Okay, and what this is going to do, obviously it clears the float, and then the second line floats the left column on the left margin, and the width is going to be 33% of the page body. Okay, we're going to go down to right column styles, and this is for section with the ID of right column. We're going to float this left, and this width is going to be 67%. Alright, on page 189, we're going to put a style for the image. So under the right column, we're going to say section hashtag right column img for image. This one is going to be display block, and width 100%. And this is going to display every image in the right column as a block with the width equal to the width of its parent element. Right. Next we're going to say section hashtag right column greater than symbol nav dot horizontal line item, width 25%. Okay, and this is just going to set the width of each list item to 25% of the width of its parent, which is the navigation list. Alright, so I'm going to save my changes and check this out in a browser. I'm just going to refresh the page. Our pictures should move around a little bit. There they go. Alright, so this left column occupies 33%, and this over here occupies 67%. Okay, this down here is the horizontal navigation. Each should be 25% since there's 4 of them. That makes sense. All right, back to Notepad++. Okay, into left column styles. We're going to insert, under this float, we're going to insert padding 1.5 EM. So it increases the padding of that left column. So I'm going to save my changes and look at this in the browser. Okay, and you see how it kind of moved around and looks odd. Okay, this happens because we increased the padding, which increased the size of this left column and made it bigger than the 33%, I'm sorry, this right here, bigger than the 33% that it had available. Okay, so it pushed those pictures in the wrong spot. All right. Moving on to page 193. For 193, we're back over in Notepad++, this time working on the reset.css. Okay, so under the typographic styles, under vertical align baseline, we're going to add box sizing. Okay, this is going to apply border box sizing to all of the listed block elements, all of these. Okay, so we're going to use WebKit -box -sizing border box, border-box, and then MOZ -box sizing border-box. Well, and then at the bottom it's just box sizing. Alright, so I'm going to save this and preview this. Okay, and our pictures move back to where they should have been. Okay, so back over in Notepad++, we're back on the home.css, and we are working in the footer. So the footer is way at the bottom. Okay, so we've got footer, clear, left, which is going to clear that float. And then we have footer greater than nav.vertical navigation. We're going to float this left. And make this a width 22%. And then we're going to have footer greater than section hashtag contact info. Check your capitalization there. We're going to float left width 34%. Okay, so the first thing we did, we cleared the float in the footer, and this displays the footer once the left margin is clear of floated objects. Okay, the second part sets the width of the vertical navigation list to 22% and floats them on the left. And then contact info sets the width of the contact info section to 34% and floats it on the left. So let's see what these changes did. Alright, and here we are down here. That looks pretty good. Alright, I know this video is getting long. We're about to wrap up. So back to Notepad++. In the footer, we're going to put a background color. RGB 71 52 29. Just real quick, you'll notice the footer did not change. I want to talk about container collapse. Basically that a floated element is taken out of the document flow, so your browser doesn't think anything is there, okay? So it tries to collapse. So we have to go back to Notepad++ and add a little something. So after the footer, we have to say footer, : after. Clear both content open and close quotes, display, table. Okay, so it creates an element after the footer, places the element after both margins are clear, and consists of an empty web table. Okay, so there's our footer background.